I'm a transgender artist.
Welcome to my bedroom.
I'm here, I survived, and I'm gonna talk about it.
Hey everyone, it's your girl, Ayla Mode.
It's been a half a year now. Please ignore the spoopy vibes. That being said, the few points I have been like monumental.
It's just, again, so much subtle changes.
Today is my 1-year marker of me being on estrogen. This is your girl, Ayla Mode. And what a great way to kick off Pride Month.
So yeah, trans merch was absolutely amazing.
I'm looking back retrospectively on 2018. Hey everybody, welcome back once again. This is your girl, Ayla Mode. And it has been a while since we've been filming here. You might be wondering why I'm also wearing formal clothing. Well, today I had an incredible opportunity to speak and do a coffee tasting at the Starbucks head office. Now, I work with Starbucks and I was given the opportunity to go there, share my story, and talk about the impact of trans visibility. I feel honored and privileged to have an opportunity like this, and who knows what impact I might make. The amount of people that I talked to at the store already and getting to see some of the impacts I make in the lives of those who work in the head office is absolutely incredible, and I'm just so excited to see that branch out further and further and see more and more people understand that there is space for them to exist and thrive and succeed. Now, as exciting as it is to share that I got to share my story with the Starbucks head office today, the real reason we are here is because my 2-year HRT anniversary. I honestly cannot believe that we are already at this point. Mind blown, wig flown, what the hell? Already looking back at some of the videos I had done in recent years, like the 1-year anniversary and the 1.5-year anniversary and all the other months building up to that 1-year point, I cannot believe how far I've come. Anytime that I've struggled with dysphoria in the past 2 years, it has been such an incredibly amazing and unique tool to be able to reflect on some of those earlier videos anytime that I am struggling in the moment. I don't know if that's gonna work for everyone, but I know that for me, that is a huge way to overcome some of those challenges. Also, being able to look back at some of that old footage though, it is really interesting to see how things have kind of fluctuated and changed throughout the years. The first year feels like a year where I was really reinventing myself. I stripped a lot of who I used to be away in transition, reworking how my mind functions around some of these topics, really breaking down a lot of that internalized transphobia, and building myself up again. Getting to explore being the young girl I never got the chance to be, as well as ideas around the woman I never thought I could be. Then, between the 1-year and 2-year point, I started to reincorporate a lot of that old self that I had thrown away and rework in some of the parts that I felt compelled or were just like truly me. Maybe I'm not actually so interested in all the frills and the pastel colors. Not to say that I hate it or that it doesn't have its place in my life, but you know what? That rocker grunge punk girl that I used to be is not so far down the road as I had thought. Ultimately, there are still facets of who I was, and I'm sure a lot of my old friends can look back and be like, well, maybe we feel like we lost the person you were before transition, but like ultimately I'm still the same person. This past year though has been a lot about allowing myself to shine now that I am backed up and built up with my authenticity. It's actually been about 1.5 years now that I've been working with Starbucks, but that honestly has set off such a boom in my life of various opportunities. From sharing my story in our training packets that are now Canada-wide, from sharing my story with various levels of management, whether it's through district or head office, or now shared on the Starbucks Stories page which is open for public to view. I have been given a lot of incredible platform that I am just like truly and honestly blessed and grateful for. Another big change I have been talking about in the past year is starting injectable estrogen. After a year and 4 months, I believe it was, of taking estrogen through pill form, I received benefits through my work that allowed me to take on more costly hormone options, and I decided to go with injectable estrogen as I know it did a lot for various women's physique as well as mental well-being. My breasts have more than doubled since November. Like, I didn't realize that it could go so much further, and I know, like, looking back on some of those videos, I am just like non-stop gabbing about breast development and thinking that every little minor change is like the greatest thing in the world. I literally was talking about it right from the get-go, and honestly, yes, it happens very fast, but it is also a very slow-going process. And of course, as you're watching so many other things change rapidly, you get a little caught up and anxious that things aren't moving along fast enough. So like every little change you're like hanging on to with like a death grip. I am just thrilled. Realistically, if I never got a breast augmentation, I would not hate myself. If they didn't grow anymore, I likely would go for a breast augmentation at some point if I could afford it or had access to it. But that being said, I am in no way upset about where my body is at now. So going back to some of those older things that I would scrutinize in the earlier months, body hair really again has cut down. I think I did mention that in the 1.5 year, if not before that even. But body hair has really become a very minimal issue. That being said, I do still deal with all the regular body hair that most human beings and cis people would deal with anyways. Body fat redistribution certainly has changed, especially since taking injectable estrogen. So I'm finding that there is a little more appropriateness of like displacement. Before, I found that I was gaining a lot of weight in my stomach, where weight will still develop in my stomach if I'm eating unhealthily and just loading on the pounds, but realistically, it does seem to fill out more evenly so. On the note of body fat distribution, I am like amazed with like how rounded out like my face has become over time. The differences between the very start of transition to the 1 year mark are huge. And the differences from the 1 year to the 1.5 are huge. And even still, the differences are even greater. So I'm kind of shook and really interested to see how things will continue progressing. And like, this is without any surgeries. I definitely was along the mindset of getting facial feminization at some point, and ultimately, if I never had it done, I don't think I would be too bugged out. I feel that I do have a fair bit of passing privilege until I open my mouth. I definitely think that my voice gives me away to a lot of people. That's ultimately something that I'm working on in my own speed, and I am not overly concerned about it at the moment. Again, I'm not horribly stuck on the idea of having to pass. Well, I do think that is everything worth sharing at this 2-year HRT update point. If you have any questions about various points or parts of my transition, please leave your questions in the comments below and I will get to those as soon as possible. And otherwise, please hit that like button, the bell and notification button, and as always, it is a privilege and honor to share with you all my story. Thank you for joining me, and remember to keep your pencil sharp, but your mind sharper. Ciao!